Hey, this is Fritz Westover, and I'm answering a question from a grower in Canada today. This question came in through the Vineyard Underground podcast website at vineyardundergroundpodcast.com. And so let's just go ahead and take a look at what the question was we're dealing with here. Rob from BC, he says, I'm a grower in the Okanagan Valley up in British Columbia, Canada. My question is, what is your advice on vine management during the flowering period? Specifically, are there any recommended sprays to use or not use during flowering? And what should you take into consideration when there is disease pressure, such as from powdery mildew? Okay, really good questions, Rob. I want to make sure I'm thorough with the answer to this. And your first question was, what are we really focusing on around bloom time? So my philosophy is always we want to spray our grapes, if whether we're a conventional or on an organic spray program, we want to spray with something with some forward protection for something like powdery mildew before we get into bloom. And there's nothing wrong with spraying during bloom if you need to, because disease pressure is high. There is some concern with heavy air blast sprayers that movement might be harmful to flowers and fruit set. In my personal experience, I haven't seen a lot of problems with air blast sprayers causing physical damage to blooms. The problem can be more if there's an incompatible spray tank mixture. So definitely around bloom time, that's not the time to go mixing new tank mixtures that you've never done, or trying that new adjuvant out to add to your tank, or a spreader sticker that you've never used before, or trying to mix oils with things that you've never mixed oils with. These are things you want to avoid during flowering because flowers are very delicate. And if there is any spray burn, we certainly want to avoid that during flowering. So going back to what I was saying before, I like to advise my growers to spray before bloom, the onset of bloom. We call it the pre-bloom spray. And an area like yours in Canada, your two main diseases you're probably concerned about are powdery mildew and possibly botrytis bunch rot. So a product that would cover both bunch rot and powdery mildew before bloom time would be a good one to get out. And then usually those products are going to have some kind of longevity to them, especially if it's a systemic product in a conventional program, or even if it's an organic product like sulfur, or a biological like a bacillus strain or something like that. You'll get some forward protection going through bloom. And then after fruit set is completed, that's when you'd go in and do another spray application. So that might be 10 days later, it might be 14 days later, it could be as many as 21 days later. It depends on your disease pressure and your region. So kind of bookending the bloom with your spray before and after fruit set, that's a real sound way to make sure that whatever you're doing is not interfering with fruit set and flowering. And then the other thing would be just make sure that, again, you're not using a product that you've never used before, or an potentially incompatible spray mixture. Besides that, I think we really just want to make sure that if you're spraying any foliar fertilizer that you want to have an impact on bloom, like your micronutrients, boron, zinc, molybdenum, you want to get those on well before bloom, probably 2 to 3 weeks before, or in a series of 2 split sprays before bloom, so that those micronutrients can be absorbed or taken into the vine and actually help with the fruit set at question. That would, again, be for varieties that have issues with fruit set, or where you've established through plant tissue testing that you have a nutritional deficiency you're trying to deal with. Other than that, I would say just make sure that you've got good spray coverage. Canopy management is always very important. So you should have your shoot thinning done, have your positioning of your shoots done by the time you get to bloom, so that you'll be set up for good spray penetration into the canopy. And I think that should get you in the right direction. So those are the things that I consider around bloom time in terms of spraying, in terms of any issues with spraying. And then, of course, we're always going to hope that the weather is good during bloom. The one thing that I've seen during bloom that can be catastrophic to fruit set is extreme swings in temperature, especially going to very hot temperatures, from going, let's say, to mild, good temperatures if in Fahrenheit 70s all the way up to 100 within a day or two during bloom could cause some shatter on flowers. Also, heavy rainfall during bloom, or any kind of overcast conditions that can be causing cloud cover, issues with photosynthesis, those can also impact your bloom and hence your fruit set. So good luck to you, Rob. I hope that things go well with you and your vineyard in British Columbia. And thanks for submitting a question for answering here at Live Vineyard Advising at virtualviticultureacademy.com. And thanks for being a listener to the podcast at vineyardundergroundpodcast.com. Be a better grape grower. I'll see you on the next one. Please submit a question again. Thanks.